for the lost. Amen. And I love that. Mm-hmm. Do you know that's the heart of Jesus, to reach the lost?
Yes.
And he wants to reach them through you. Mm-hmm. And he's going to tell you how to do that. That's right. Tonight, Jay, take liberty. Sure. He is my friend. He's from the land of Sweet Honey Mission. Isn't that nice? I love that name. Thank you for welcoming him. You are welcome to share with us whatever God has put on your heart.
Thank you, Pastor.
Amen. And this will reach through. Yes. Right.
Sounds good.
Okay.
Sounds good. Hello, family. Hello, brothers and sisters.
Sit over here.
Yes.
It's so nice to see you. And you know, it's I'm so thankful because Pastor Pat allowed me to speak to you, because this is something that if I kept it, I would not be a good Christian. Because God said a testimony is what's going to get him across.
Yeah.
Amen.
Here's my
You
thinking.
can take that out, so
Yes.
you can take it and walk with it.
Yes.
Not too much.
You know, I know. I'm a bit hyper, if you could tell. Just a little. But the funny thing is that I was designed for that purpose.
Yes.
And like everything, do you know the story of Joseph?
Yes.
That all the things that happened to him, but at the end of each occurrence, he would say that the Lord was with him.
Yeah.
So there was a purpose for everything. So in our lives, everything has a purpose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a test. And that's why in the Bible it says that in the suffering is when you will grow. Your faith grows. Nobody wants to go through the pain, but if there's no pain, in the world it says no pain, no gain. But we could use that. We could really use that spiritually too. You know what I mean? If we don't suffer, we would never go to God. We would never develop what we need to develop if everything was fine. And that's sort of my story. You know how God works, right? I've been praying, I've been meditating, which is funny because I'm a workaholic. I'm a recovering workaholic. You know, so what I said to God is like, when I used to work 14 hours a day, back in time, my goal was to make something of myself, to become wealthy, to have things, just not because of the things. The things never meant anything to me, but significance. I wanted my dad to be happy. I wanted my dad to be proud. So God, so Father, I'm worthy of me having life. That was my thinking. That's why I wanted to succeed. Not for anything else. But that my father would be proud and say, you know, don't compare me with everybody else that's successful. I can make it too. That was my purpose in life. Isn't it sad that even in the Bible it says that we who trust men or focus our thing on men, women, or whatever it is, we're wrong. Put your faith, put everything on God. God is the one, that's the only one that we have to please.
Amen.
Not anybody else. Anyway, so I had this testimony because I have an amazing testimony. Because I was successful, then I lost it all like 3 or 4 times, but I bounced back again over and over. So let me tell you just a little something. When I came to this country, I was 16 years old. My parents had divorced. So I knew that my dad was going to be driving me crazy, telling me bad things about my mom. So I was like, well, I guess I can stay with you. And I knew my mom is the sweetest lady, but I knew that she did not know how to manage money. So I'm like, I have 3 more sisters. So I'm like, you know what? By that time, my older sister married just to be able to get out of the house at 18. So then it's myself and my 2 younger sisters. So I said, you know, Mom, with the little bit of money that you have, take care of my 2 sisters. Give me $400, and I'll go to America. So I did that. So after my first attempt, which I was denied, I made my second attempt. On the second attempt, I did pass. I made it to America, but I had 100 hours left. Mm-hmm. How do you start a life in a new country? No English, no papers, nobody that you know. How do you do that with $100? By the time, a beautiful life, successful life. By the time I left to Mexico, I left with $750,000. $750,000.
Praise God.
But again, I lost it. No, it's okay. You know what? We have a ranch. We have, God told me that we were going to build a town, so we have 200 acres in the jungle. You know what I mean? So it's not all lost. Well, it is lost in a sense. It's just invested in the kingdom.
Yes.
And God,
Yes.
God is a good, He pays dividends
Yes.
and returns, and many times
Yes.
over. So anyway, so that's a little bit of information, so you capture where I'm going with this. Okay, so all of this I have done it my whole life with my mom. My mom has been in my life the whole entire life, and I'll tell you why she is important to me. When I was young, I could not talk. I used to stutter crazy. I just could not talk. So my mom would take me to speech therapy. And there, I would, again, I'm a kid, I don't know anything. So I'm in the school, speech therapy school, and I hear the mimes. They're all having a great time, they're all playing, but they're going like, ooh, ooh, ah, ah, ooh, ah, ah. In my mind, I'm like, am I crazy? Why am I here? Why am I here? I would say, why me? What did I do to deserve this? Why is it that I cannot speak? Why is it that I have no friends? Because every kid bullies me. So I have no friends. Who was my only friend? My mom. My mom was my only friend.
Yeah.
I remember my 3 sisters, and I and my mom, we would go on vacations because my dad wanted us out of the house. So he worked hard. He was a very smart man, but with the devil inside. But good men, but with evil inside. But anyway, so he would send us on the weekends all the time because he wanted to be at the house and have his parties and no kids to take care of. So we would go away every weekend. So I loved it because my mom is driving. I'm outside hanging in front of the window. My sisters are sleeping because my sisters never care about anything. But here, because I never talk to anybody, so I would talk to my mom. I would always be asking her, Mom, what about this? Mom, what about that? I guess I kept her awake, number one. But me, I had a friend to talk to. I was always asking something. I always had curiosity. And again, in the story, it develops why. So anyway, picture this. And again, everything, as in the life of Joseph, everything had a meaning. So I would be driving, my mom would be driving. I'm hanging outside of the, of the window, and I was always flying. I've been a dreamer my whole life. I would stick on my hand, my hand, and I'm flying. I'm always like, I'm Superman. I have to create something because my reality is not good. But my mom was always there. I could not talk. I had no friends. So anyway, she was always there. So that has been our whole story. I come to America. We always spoke. Mom, how are you? How's everything? Everything, for every single thing. Mom, what do you think? Mom, what do you think? So anyway, imagine what happens to me in 2020, December 30th, 2021. My mom passed away. She did not even make it to New Year's. My only friend, my only true friend. This project started probably in 2000, I want to say formally, officially 2015, 2016. But my prior project of this was building a ranch. And I started that in 2010. And I started it because my mom says, son, I'm tired of life right now. She always lived with my sister. She always raised kids. So you know what happens, and I think this part of the message is that we take everything for granted, and that's why God never just gives us everything, because then we would take it for granted, right? So anyway, see, in 2010 she goes, son, I'll give you my life. I'll do your project. I'll build your dream. Isn't that amazing? My friend, the only one that I could trust, the one that has been with me since I was little, she says, I'm going to give you my life. Let's build a dream. So we did. So I bought, at the time, I've been in business my whole life. Wrecked a lot of businesses, but had one business that I sustained for 25 years. At that time, I had a van, and I said, Mom, all right, you're going to Mexico? I asked her, come to New Jersey, pick up my van, you're going to drive all the way to Mexico. Here's this 60-year-old lady driving a truck full with stuff, because obviously I filled it up with stuff. Because I'm not going to buy stuff. I was a contractor, so I had tools. I filled the bill with stuff. Mom, you're going to drive it. There she goes. At the time, the border was full of cartels. But here's this old lady driving her van right through. God has been there all along. Anyway, we started building the ranch because she says, I'm with you. So again, I purchased this land maybe 25, 30 years ago because I knew I could not be old and be in this country because I was illegal. Because I was living for so long, I could not have a good job. So, and I've been self-employed my whole life because nobody understands me. I guess that's a childhood problem that I had. You know what I mean? That, well, I have to do things right because I don't know. I never had, let's say human interaction like most kids do. So I always had to do things right because if you knew that I don't know anything, you will not hire me. So I had to promise, oh, I want to do this for you, this and that. So I had to find out right away how to do it because I never done it. So I self-taught myself how to do everything. Right. So anyway, so here we are in Mexico. I never built a ranch before, but I'm like, Mom, we got the tools, we have the land, we're going to do it. My mom has never done anything in her life either, like that. But she had faith. And the most important thing is she goes, in my thinking, she's like, God, I don't care anymore. She was disappointed with life. So that's why she says, I'm going to give you my life to build your dream. So she is there, she's the GC, never done anything in her life. Actually, I always said to her, Mom, she was great with style. I'm a designer, maybe I get it from her, from my grandma, from my grandfather. But I told her, you know, Mom, you're stuck in the 80s. You gotta move on. So anyway, so unfortunately she doesn't have the style anymore. You know what I mean? So anyway, but she was in charge of building the ranch. To this, she always cared about me. She knew how much it took me to earn money. So she was very cautious, very, frugal the way she spent money. So she goes, son, I cannot be driving back and forth to Cancun because the moment that we leave the stuff here, in the morning it won't be there. So she slept in the middle of the jungle in a van for 6 months. Wow. That's a mom. That's a mom that had no fear because sometimes they say that the most dangerous person is the one that has nothing to lose. And that's the way that we should be. Why should we fear anything? That's right. What's the worst thing that could happen? Dying? Yeah. And then we're in heaven. Yeah. Where's the fear? Where's the fear? Anyway, after that, we managed, it's funny. She, as I said, she was always taking care of my stuff. So she decides, well, I want to build a little hut so the van could be in the shade and we'll get room. So she did that. She had that built. So that became her hut. She said that she lived there for another 6 months while the concrete building got done. But in the meantime, this is a jungle-like hut. Just it's wood and grass on top. No windows, no doors. So she's lived there for another 6 months. Somehow, again, because she was always looking for deals, she ended up finding one of those outdoor furniture sets. So that's where she slept. But Cancun is a tropical country, or it's a tropical area. So the rain comes at any time, day or night. So what did that mean? What this meant that she will be sleeping, and the wind will blow from the west at night. So she would have to get up from her couch, move the couch, move away from the rain. So she would have to do this. So how could she even sleep? Nevertheless, did it. Do you know that when I went to visit her, at the time I was living together with the woman of my dreams. That's how great even God is. I got what I wanted. He's been blessing me forever. I just did not know it. So I was not going to take my princess to the jungle because she would go for it, number one. And I said, you know what? We are gonna go on vacation. We do an all-inclusive. So here we are, living the life and everything, while my mom is living in the jungle. Yeah. And I would be like, Mom, you know, and I would blame it on my ex. It's just I cannot let her stay here in the jungle. It's not safe. The reality is that I was afraid. I was like, Mom, well, you are ready to die. I'm not. I don't want to stay in the jungle. So do you understand how my mom was? So anyway, now we have a concrete building, so now it is nice and dandy and everything. But throughout all of this, we would hire people, and she would always call me, son, you know there's a poor kid that doesn't have anything. Could we give him something? Mom, sure, you're the boss. So she never had anything, but she was always giving everything away. Everything. So, you know, the reason why we started this is because, you know, we spent years and years giving away everything. My mom had nothing. She didn't have a place to stay. Whenever she came to the States, she would stay with any of my sisters that would let her stay in. And once they were tired of her, get out. Because you're a hoarder. You're always bringing stuff. But they realized that she was clothing the whole time, all the time. Wow. You know what I mean? Well, she had nothing. You know. So anyway, go forward. We are always doing and giving something, right? When I separated from the woman of my dreams, I realized, you know what? I don't have a purpose anymore. I always had a purpose. I got money. I got a business. I love to party. Ooh, I love to party. Ooh, I love to party. So I could party. I could do anything I wanted. But where was I going? Mm-hmm. You have everything but be empty. At this time, I could speak, but I had no friends. I could have girls. I could have anything I wanted. Because somehow, I don't know why, sometimes girls like, I don't know why they like me, but they like me. You know? So but that was like, that's it? Is that it? So that's when I said, you know, Mom, I would always take care of my nieces and nephews for Christmas. So, you know, everything. You know what? I mean, I have no kids, so I spoiled them. When they got older, all right, Mom, they're older, I'm not going to give them any more gifts. So this Christmas, this is in 2016, I believe. Yes, 2016. I said to her, let's participate into this shoebox thing, because I started to go to church in 2015. You know, so I saw that. I said, Mom, that's what we're going to do. So the catch about that is that you guys give the stuff for free, but in Mexico we have to pay for it. Not much, a buck. But I said, Mom, I want to bless 600 kids. I'm not going to give to my nieces and nephews, so I got 600 kids to bless. Find me 600 kids. So she did, because she loved it. I mean, she had purpose. This woman, before she wanted to die, now she wanted to live, because now she had found her purpose. Give it. So we found 600 kids, many ministries. We went to different little towns. The problem there is I found corruption. I found religion, the systems. So, you know, can you believe the love that people do when they give here? You know, they have the little bags and wraps around and everything is just so beautiful. To go to a country for a certain purpose, and then you find corruption, and then certain people open the boxes, take stuff, they choose. They say, no, I have 20 kids and they only have 5. You know, I did not like that. So I said, Mom, all right, we learned something. We learned that we are humans. And that church is not the building or the structure or the place, it's us. So I said, Mom, we never got it. We never done anything like this, but you know what? Find me a little town. I still had some money left, you know? So I said, I could take care of a few children. You find me a little town, and we'll build a church. So through our experience, because we had gone around and found things, we found this little town that nobody wanted. I did not know why. Now I know why. And I regret it, but not regret it, but anyway. I found this little town with about 30 kids. So I said, Mom, that I can handle by myself. You and I are going to start, not a church because we don't know enough. So I said, we could teach children level because what we know, we could teach. The adults, actually, I don't even like adults that much because we are, well, that's why we are called sheep.
Right.
Maybe they should call us by turkeys too. Clueless, you know? So anyway, so I said, let us work with children because I like children. I always like children because when I was growing up and with all my problems, kids my age would pick on me, but the little ones, they didn't. That's why I always like little children. Because it's like, you don't see my problems. You don't see the mess that I am. We just play and have a good time. So what a perfect thing to do, but to start a children's mission. I don't know, you know what? I'm going to tell you something that I told the people in Cuba. They asked me to pray for the children. And I said, Pastor, but I'm going to tell you one thing. I only know maybe 5 verses of the Bible. That's what I know. But I walk. I walk what I know. I live what I know. 5 verses is all I know. Maybe there's a lot more now, but I am sincere in that. You know, and actually even the book of life says that I don't want to have knowledgeable people of the word. I want to have people that move the word,
yes,
that act on it. You know what I mean? So that releases me so much. Sometimes I see all these beautiful people with these beautiful words and blah blah blah, but they just in a church on Sunday. That's all they do. Do they walk their faith? You know what I mean? So anyway, let's go deeper into this project. So after that, we started working with this community. I would tell the parents, if you let me work, give me your kids, give me your children. I will raise them. I will educate them. I have their future already planned. And the only reason why is because even me not knowing enough about the word, I know about the world. Because I started, this is why I was telling you a little bit about how I started and how I ended. Because I started with 100 and left with 3/4 million. So I want to teach you that. I cannot teach you religion, but I can teach you how I can help you with encouragement. The name Land of Sweet Honey, I have to name it because, you know, nobody understands a vision. You know, so I had all this written down. I had a website. I had everything. I mean, in my mind, everything's right there. We had the website. We had everything done. But I never done it. How can I approach to you and say, listen, can you support me? And you will ask me, well, have you ever done it? Are you a pastor? Did you study theology? No, it's just in my head. But now it's written. Look, I have a plan. Well, have you ever done it? No? Well, okay. So that means I have to do things myself.
yes.
I have to walk it day by day, make mistakes, and get it done. But 7 years ago, this was already done in my mind and in paper, but not in true life. So I do believe that that's what God would say. That's faith. You get up and walk, and I will show you.
Yes.
You know? So the reason why this town was never occupied is because in this little town, there's 2 families. And they switch government times back and forth. So this family steals for 3 years, then the other one steals the next 3 years. So this town was established 60 years ago. They've been fighting for 60 years. So that's why no churches are allowed. No churches are allowed until I came in. But because I came in as a mission, children's mission, giving everything for free. Everything. No charge. Come on. My truck, I call it the church bus, the church truck. I have to go pick the kids up, otherwise they don't even come. So I have to go pick them up, play with them, teach them, feed them, and that's the only way that we could establish that church. You know what I mean? The funny thing is that I would complain to that God. At 49 years old, I was teaching children. I'm like, God, what's wrong with this picture? I run away from children my whole life. I run away from women. Well, no, I should go back. I always have women, but I run away from commitment. And do you know why? Because I did not have God in me. Because I was ignorant on who God was. I was as successful as I was. I always feared. I have fear every single day. Can I keep up with this? I'm successful today. Can I keep up with it? Can I be successful tomorrow? Fear. So how could I commit to a woman? Marriage, children? I don't know. I'm successful right now, but I don't know tomorrow. I always said, when I make it, I'm going to give my wife and my children everything. Everything. But have you ever tried to reach success? It's not easy. You have $100 a day. Now you think, well, this is not going to make me happy. I want 150. 150 becomes 300. I guess when the world calls it a rat race, it is a rat race. It is a never-ending. It doesn't satisfy anything. And again, the Bible says it. And it's funny because I listen to the knowledge of the world. People would say, you have to invest. I was 26 years old. I started investing on Wall Street. So look at how fool I am. I'm saying, I'm going to work hard for my money, but I'm going to give it to intelligent people. Look at them. I work in their homes. They have mansions. They're rich. So I'm going to give them my money because they're rich, so they will guide me correctly. Little did I know that Wall Street is all about manipulation. I pay to get in and I pay to get out. And, it's a system that takes money unless you have an honest financial advisor. But I was just being led by crooks that told me, give me your money, I'm going to make you money. There you go. I had another business at the mall, and the economy hits bad, and they talk about recession. I had a little kiosk at the mall selling makeup. Me selling makeup. What's wrong with that picture? But I'm crazy. I'll do it. Never mind what it was. It was a wrinkle cream.
Oh, wow.
Works beautiful. I still have it. If you guys want to try it. It's beautiful. But here's the catch. Here I am at the mall. Lady, you look beautiful. But can I touch up those wrinkles that you have? How could I say that? So I had to hire people. But with the power, with confidence. For $10 an hour plus commission. Hello?
No.
I could sell in my dreams, but maybe if I was a little flamboyant, maybe, oh yes, girl, you know what I mean? But I'm not. You know what I mean? So, and the economy said, we're going to go into recession. So why would you buy my beautiful looking product? And it did work. But why would you spend $39.99 for my product when you could go Estee Lauder for $54? Or red, the lady with the red door. Anyway, she's a beautiful story in New York City for $70. Why would you go for me? So anyway, I tanked. 3 months, $18,000 I lost in 3 months. There you go. Another one, another mistake. Then I get into the housing market. Because people say, invest, buy this, buy that. All right, let's invest. The housing market crashes, I lost $100,000. I'm like, God, and guys, I hope you don't think that I'm a nightmare or I'm not successful, because I am. But I've been trusting the world. So now on this one, I said, God, you know, when I started going to church, and they talked about this beautiful God, he says, the book says, when you work, do the best that you can, because you don't work for human masters. You work for me. Do you know that I'm a perfectionist? A little crazy, I know. But it is what it is, you know what I mean? But I told you why, because nobody told me how to do anything. So I have to do it the best that I can, because I promise you something. So in my career, the way that I learned, let me tell you one more thing. I have a major case of what's it called? OC? Okay, that thing. See that? I can't even say it. I lose even track of anything. So I cannot be still for 5 seconds. So how am I going to read a book? So my learning was through, I knew how to make money. So I would pay the highest ranking tradesman. I'm going to pay you for a deal or two. How much you want? 500? I'll give you the $500, but I'm going to be your helper. So I'm asking them a million questions because I pay for the day. But I learned how to do that. I cannot read. Now God is telling me that, yes, now you can. So I am going to learn because God said so. So my library, I love books, but I love picture books. That's my learning. I'm a visual guy. That's why I like beautiful women, because I'm a visual guy. I am an artist. I like beauty. But I like beauty in everything that I do. You know what I mean? So, all of this is happening. As you can see, everything that I kind of built was without having the patience to read something, to listen to something, you know? So, here we go. Here we have this opportunity. I go to church and I find out that this guy is unbelievable. He promises you everything. He says in this book that he took a fisherman and told him that he was going to build a rock. You know, that he was going to be the rock where he will build his church on. A fisherman, not the king of, or not the emperor of Rome, not the Pharisees, not the highest priest, no, a fisherman. So if he used a fisherman, he could use me. He'll teach me. So I just said, I'm gonna go work for this guy. I have to work for this guy. This is it. This is my ticket, because I try to be a perfectionist for the world, but the world cannot even afford me. So I'm insanely good at what I do, but then I work for nothing because I'm just too much of that. So I said, wow, I can work for this guy. And I've been renovating homes. That was my last business for 25 years, because I said, I'm gonna do something until I find what I really like. And 25 years went by, but I made a good business out of it. You know, I was able to build beautiful houses, bathrooms, kitchens, all that kind of stuff, beautiful stuff. So I am what you call a home improvement contractor. So when I met God and I told him, you know, this is what I want to do. I want to go work and help these children. So then a little confirmation came and said, wow, well, you are a home improvement contractor, but now you are still a home improvement contractor, but now you work not in fancy homes, but in poor little homes. God has been in that walk my whole life. So I'm like, whoa, of course. The one time God said, once I found the town, I told my mom, you know, Mom, we need to find a little place so we could have a place to actually stay in. And I was looking for just a little house. I couldn't find a house. But what I found was about 80 acres. I said, okay, fine, I'll buy 80 acres. Well, you know what? What that means is that we're going to build a community center, we're going to build a school, we're going to build a church right there. So it's all fine. I mean, I'm working for a God that promises everything. So I'm just gonna, in confidence, go ahead. The next thought, I end up buying another 200 acres. Because he says, you're gonna build a town. All right, I'm a builder. If I could build in Montclair or deal with all these inspectors that are a nightmare, in the jungle I could build anything. Because we're building, you know, we're building with trying to save the jungle. We're building very simple, very eco, very nice. We're building the people. If I made it in the United States, how come I'm not going to make it in the jungle? I have money, right? So anyway, but I know that I'm crazy. I know it. That's not rational. That's not rational. Why am I doing this? This is crazy. I don't know anything. I don't know anything about anything. But then, you know, I sold my house because I said I'm gonna make the move. I'm gonna make the move, and I'm gonna close my business, and I'm gonna do this. But I'm like, who can I ask for an opinion that will tell me you're crazy? Have 3 shots of tequila, and we'll talk tomorrow. If I ask my mom or my grandmother, they love me. Son, you could do whatever. I know what they're gonna say. I'm like, Mom, please call me a fool. Call me something, slap me in the face. Please wake me up. This is not real. This is not possible. But no, I didn't even want to call them because I knew what they both were going to say. My sisters love me. They've been telling me that I'm good looking, and people are telling me that I'm a monkey. So I'm like, I cannot trust them. I cannot trust my family. They love me. They lie to me. Because they love me, they tell me everything I want to hear. That's my thinking. So anyway, so I'm about to do this big leap of faith. I'm like, God, I need to hear from you tomorrow. Saturday I said that. I go to church, and let me tell you, Pastor Steve is bad influence. Bad influence. Bad influence. You know what he preached that day? He preached on Genesis 12. Genesis 12 says, get out of your comfort.
Okay.
Go to a place that you don't know, where I'm going to tell you, and that is where I'm going to bless you. But not bless you for you. I'm going to bless you to be a blessing to others.
Okay, yeah.
Pastor Steve lied to me. Why would he say that to me? When that day I was like, today I'm making the decision. And Pastor Steve tells me about Genesis 12. So I'm sorry, $750,000. I'm now investing in God. So anyway, I invest, I keep on doing this, but I don't know anything. In Mexico, I'm working by myself. My assistant, my missions operator, she keeps telling me, Jay, you have to learn everything. I said, no, I could pay for it. I could pay for knowledge. Let me do what I'm good at. God created me as a hand or as a mouth or whatever he created me for. I'm not going to try to be a finger. I'm not going to waste time trying to be, I am going to humble myself. But I'm not going to try to do something that I'm not good at when I'm going to tell you, listen, I make 15 bucks an hour, let's say. So I'm going to give you the same thing. But because you're an expert, you're going to do it in half the time, and I'm not going to get frustrated. You know what I mean? That I believe is the body of Christ. Some place it says that the mouth doesn't tell the eyes, I'm more important than you, because the mouth by itself doesn't do anything. The eye by himself doesn't do anything. It's the body. And that is what I love. The more that I know, the more that God reveals to me, is like, yes, you have to be perfect in what you do, but you don't have to know everything. Do you know the story about Henry Ford? He was told to, people were very jealous of him because he came from nothing. And everybody's like, why would you have so much money? Why are you building this empire? So they bring him to court. And the people against him, they tell him, okay, now you got to tell us about this, whatever, knowledge of something. He says, all right, let me pull my expert. Some other question. Oh, you must not know this one. Okay, let me call another expert. He had all the experts in his payroll. He didn't have to know it. The same thing I say, I don't have to be good at everything. I'm just going, God created me to be a mouth. I'm going to be a mouth. He tells me, you're going to walk now, I will walk. I don't want to be the body. And the great thing about God is that, even he says it, a house divided will not stand. The opposite of that would be like a house united will triumph. Yeah. Unity, they say that there's strength in numbers. There's a strength in unity, right? Yes. So I'm like, how could you not want to work for God? You know what I mean?
Amen.
Work for the government, bunch of crooks, work for companies. There's always, like that's why I had to be self-employed, because nobody likes me. I don't know why. Girls like me, but people don't like me. I don't know. Anyway, so let's just get this going. And this is what I wanted to explain. This is why I wanted to have the mic, because throughout all of this, I'm still battling my insecurity. I'm still, with all the success that I have had, I should say, with all the, as a man, when I started to listen about the Bible, I liked King Solomon. I could have 700 wives too. I'll be successful, I have 700 wives and a few concubines. I like this guy. He's pretty cool. I like this guy. He's gonna make me wise and a rich guy. I like this guy. You know, so I'm loving this guy. I'm loving the gospel, but yet I still have my doubts. You know why? And this is so incredible. This is so incredible. We used to have a cleaning lady. The lady had her eyes like, I think you call it crooked eye. So this lady came and she used to be our cleaning lady. So she came, she did the laundry, and she would always, and I was little, so she would always come, hey, you ugly monkey, you ugly monkey, you ugly monkey, you ugly monkey. You know that stuck to me? So just imagine, I stuttered. So, I'm brown, I'm sorry, in Mexico, talk about prejudice. I'm brown, little, Indian, you know, I cannot talk. I'm the worst of the worst. And I'm a kid. Why did this happen to me? And kids could be the worst. Kids have no mouth. They don't measure. A kid could destroy another kid's life. So they had done that to me. And then on top of it, the crooked cleaning lady is like, how is this lady, how is it possible that she killed my life? But I'll tell you one thing. I found this out 2 months ago. I was telling the story to my family. I'm like, you know what? Sometimes I have had that issue. You know, that I don't believe in myself. Even though I've done a lot of things. I'm insane. I'm fun. I accomplish things. I'm crazy, but good crazy, you know? So I have accomplished all these things, but yet the other side of me is like, but you cannot, you cannot hold it. I could get whatever I want, but I cannot keep it. Because I don't know how to sustain it. Because I know that I'm not good enough. So, I've been successful. God has been with me my whole life. But the enemy has been here all along. So anyway, my aunt, I was telling my story to my aunts, and I mentioned that about that lady. So she goes, Jay, let me tell you something. After we moved from the area, the cleaning lady went to work for my aunt. And she worked for my aunt for 15 years. So when I moved in with my aunt, first of all, at 14 years old, I was living by myself. Because my father sent me to school, so I had to live by myself. Imagine a 14-year-old kid with complete freedom. So I was a nightmare. I was nuts. But anyway, when this lady found out that I was coming to live there, she goes, you know that kid was really mean to me. You know that kid used to always follow me around and pick on me. You know, that kind of freed me, and I had to repent at that moment because I was like, as a child, I suffered because they would pick on me. But yet I did the same thing to this lady.
Mm.
This lady took a bus, and I would have to get there, and I would have to get back. Cleaning houses, washing her clothes. Did I know that this lady was doing this to support her family? This is a poor lady, humble poor lady. What right did I have? The bully was a bully.
Mm.
You know, that kind of like, when I found out, I was crying, like, how could I do that? What did this lady deserve? Why was I so mean? I had become the enemy. You know what I mean? So it's just such freedom that God, little by little, as you walk, He reveals and tells you, you know what? One more thing was revealed to you. You gotta change your mind.
Yes.
Change your mind. Change
Yes.
your mind. Anyway, this is about a couple months ago. But back in 2021, when my mom passed away, I'm like, I have nobody to talk to. I lost my angel. I lost my friend. Yet, before that, she couldn't go anymore, so I had to do things on my own. That meant that at the mission, I had to, put my pants again, put on my pants and, you know what, get it done. You don't have mom anymore, get it done. That December, I was in Mexico with the mission. At the time, I think at that time, I don't know if Tommy didn't come at that time. That time, I think I went by myself. I was at church. I finally felt the presence of God. So God was working in me, little by little. So I was so excited because I told Mom, I felt God. The God is in the jungle. So I said, Mom, my next thing is we need instruments. Because people there are praising, first of all, with not good tune, horrible voice, and they're worshiping too weak. Almost like you were saying, don't be embarrassed. They're worshiping embarrassed that the neighbor's gonna see them and say, well, you must be crazy. Why would you worship like that? So in my heart, I'm like, I told my mom, you know what my next project is to bring instruments because I want the jungle. You know what I mean? I said, I want the jungle to move. Right now, you hear the bachata, you hear all this blasting. But there's no growth in that. There's no, that doesn't give you seed. There's no fruit in the world. But I said, if I could bring the rhythm of God to the jungle, let the jungle praise. Let the jungle praise. Let these people maybe sing bad or maybe don't know because they haven't felt. God catches people in many ways. God caught me in music. As I said to you, I'm, as a prophet from Louisiana would say, life is just like a box of chocolate. And he also would say, I'm not a smart man, but I know about love. So that I knew. I knew that I was not smart, but I knew about love because I had met this carpenter guy that talked about love. So I was like, you know what, if we bring the music, that's how they're going to catch it. My learning, my relationship with God began because when we worship, we repeat the same thing. God, we love you. God, we love you. God, we love you. God, we love you. The people from the world don't understand why we repeat it. But you know what? We repeat it so much that we get it into our souls because we repeat it. Now I love to repeat worship. I got to spend an hour just saying, I love you, God, I love you, God, I love you, God, I love you, God, because you know what? It finally gets in your heart.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So anyway, this is the miraculous thing. I asked God, I said, God, we need to have instruments because I want the jungle to move. And Who delivered those instruments? The Polish Jesus Christ. I said, I'm going to bring to the jungle this Polish Jesus Christ, that these little minds were like, ooh, whoa, the same Jesus Christ that we see in the movies. It's here. And he's singing with us. So I was like, yes. You have to use any instrument that you can to bring people to Christ. So, that happened. This mission was fun. Stuart came out of his shell. He was singing opera in the jungle. Everybody in the jungle was like, yes, Stuart. And the thing that I tell people is like, you know what? You guys feel like you're heroes. You're going to go save the world. But the moment you get there, those children, they demolish you. They demolish you with love. They go like, once, the Bible says taste and see. Taste and see. Indeed. Feel that love. You know it.
Yes.
You know it. Like for us, I feel as missionaries, such a humbling experience, such love. Love is in the air, Anyway, so we accomplished that. 2022, now we have another mission. And again, I'm struggling. In Mexico, I have everything. In the States, I'm basically homeless because I have nothing here. COVID completely wiped me out. So I'm invested. But again, God was working on me. Amen. There was a purpose for it, which is coming up. So anyway, I'm broke again, as always. I'm like, God, I was successful. I thought you were gonna use me because I was successful. I could make money. I could do this, I could do that. But here I am. I failed. I failed at giving money. Who does that? Who really thinks at that? I did. I was not going anywhere. I was asking for help. Nobody was helping. I was like, I said to myself, if anything, my project in the jungle will become like the YMCA, where kids come for one day, like that Saturday. That day that they come is the best day of the week. They sing, they dance, they play, they listen a good word, a good message of love and peace and everything. So it's like, if anything I accomplished, it cost me a fortune. But oh well, at least I did that. But no, we put a nice team together. Joe was a little crazy too. A little. It's like Jay. I love Mexico. I love Mexico more than the Dominican Republic. But I know why he loved it. Because I'm a little crazy, and he had freedom. He's like, you know what? God said, let's go jump and let's do this. And, let's do it. Yeah. We're kind of like wild bandits. You know what I mean? So he loves it. So that's why he says, you know what? We are going to go over. We are going to put some people together. Let's do it. In the meantime, this is so funny. So we had a successful mission with Polish Jesus Christ, bringing instruments to the jungle. So now Astra comes into the picture. She goes, wow, Jay, I have an idea for you. You should build a village, a Mayan Christian village. I'm like, Astrid, have you read my book 5 years ago? It's there already. Now you're telling me something that I don't know, but I cannot do it. But I wrote it 5 years ago. It's been already written, but nothing happened. So, but fine, I'm excited. She goes, God told me that I have to help you. Great, finally I have help. My mom through this is going through cancer, so my mom can only do so much. So I'm finally have this is before. By 2022, I don't have a mom anymore. So I'm like, I told Pastor Steve, I think I'm gonna wrap up. I'm sorry. I guess I heard wrong. I guess I was working with my emotions instead of God's calling. So I'm sorry. I'm broke. It's time for me to close down. In the meantime, pastor gets involved. Joe gets excited. It's talking, now he wants to go back. He wants to go back. And this is the best thing. Now Italian Jesus Christ wants to come too. So I'm like, whoa! This is going someplace because now people want to do it. People want to help me. And Pastor Steve said, okay. So here we go. So we're doing we're trying to sing. We tried. We weren't that successful, but we meant well. But at least he did, So we had another successful mission. Beautiful. It just worked out beautiful. So this is in June. We come back in July. I said, God, do you remember that I'm broke? That I'm homeless? Do you remember that? I still have to support my ranch. I still have to support the mission. So whatever I make, I have to support that. And I'm homeless. How am I going to do that? So part of me now, but I have to work for a while. And I'll do mission when I get up again. So I take this $100,000 contract. Hey, I could do it. I sold it for 70. So I said, I'm going to make $30,000. Manage it. It was a piece of cake job. 2 months. That gives me a chance to work it, put some money so I could rent something, so I could live normal again, and do more mission. Great. Thank you, God, for such a beautiful blessing. By the end of July, the job was down. It took me the whole year to recoup. I made $0. So I'm like, God, do you know? Can I remind you that I'm broke? Can I remind you that I made a commitment to children? Can I remind you that I still have a ranch? Can I remind you that I dropped $750,000 to this project and I'm broke? Can you tell me why? Can you tell me why you took my mom away? Can you tell me why she had to die? At 70 years old. In that process, I would tell her, Mom, do not dare to die. Do not leave me alone. You promised me. You gave me your life. You said that to me. That's why I did what I did. Mom, you told me, let's go feed the children. Let's go do it, Mom. Fine, let's do it. It's in your heart. Let's go do it. We got the money. And you know what? Why would I have money and just be fat and by myself? A blessing. No, God doesn't bless this. God blesses this.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So anyway, I'm asking God all these things. Finally, when I told my mom, do not dare to die. Your testimony, you will cure from cancer, you will survive cancer, you will be healed from cancer, and your testimony will be that. That's going to be your testimony, that God, because He promises that He will heal you, but He didn't. So before she passed away, I said to her, Mom, it's okay if you give up. How do you tell your mom to go? How do you tell her it's okay if you go? She knew that she knew that I could not operate alone because she was always my best friend, because she had always been there for me. She knew that because of her craziness, I went and bought 200 acres because she told me that God delivers on His promises.
Yes.
She told me, let's do the mission. Why did I do it? She lied to me. God lied to me. Why? So anyway, I'm going through this. The one thing the testimony that I think from my mom, she never had a chance to actually do this, is that Christmas of 2021, my 3 sisters and I and my mom, we spent Christmas Eve and day together, worshiping, sharing a meal together, just the 4 of us. My mom had accomplished her purpose. Her children were missionaries, Christian, believers.
Yeah.
Not perfect because we still had doubts. Still. Anyway, I think that was Christmas. She died on the 30th, 6 days later.
Mm.
But you know the amazing thing is that through the cancer, she never suffered. She would tell me, son, I go to the hospitals and everybody's suffering. I take this, I take that. I'm okay. Except when they started doing that immunotherapy, when they wiped everything. You know what I mean? So she started to suffer.
Mm.
But she suffered maybe a couple of months, 3 months. Obviously, she never told us because she didn't want to be a burden.
Mm.
You know what I mean? So she was a brave woman. She was love. That's all she had. That's all she had. She was a giver. What made me sad, really sad, is in this argument with God, I'm like, do you know, God, that I'm broke? My mom died, and I could not even give her a proper burial because I had no money. We had to send her to be incinerated. We had no money. God, I was a successful kid. I was able to do anything. How come you do that to me? I gave you my life. I gave you everything. How come you do that to me? You know, my mom gave everything, and at the end, had nothing. We did not even have money to give her a proper anything. You know what I mean? But anyway, finally, last December, after last year's tragic $100,000 me, you know, paying for it. Last Christmas would have been our 6th anniversary, our 6th children's Christmas party. I was here. I had no desire to go to Mexico. My mom's not there. I'm broke. I'm even in debt. You know, so I said, God, you know what? Why don't you just take me? If I want to be a mediocre loser, just take me. I'd rather be in heaven. He promised me that I'll go to heaven. Let me go to heaven. I don't have the guts to kill myself. But you could do it in a nice way. Because how can I disappoint my children? How can I disappoint my grandma, my sisters? I cannot do that. I cannot commit suicide. So, you do the right thing. Take me in a nice way. In the meantime, Astrid's going to Colombia. So I said, Astrid, I'm broke, I know, but I had some donations, and you know what? There's kids in Colombia too. Let's make some calls, let's find some people to bless. So we did, we found these people to bless. In Mexico, this year, the little box, the shoebox operation, finally came back to my little congregation. Number one. Number two, we had 2 parties. Number 3, my missionary team over there, they went to different states. We have been sponsored on another church. So last Christmas, we had parties in 4 states, 2 countries. But yet, I'm asking God to take me. The ministry is flourishing, but I'm dying. But you know what happened? Thank you, Astrid. She directed me to a prayer group. This guy's insane. This guy prays with boldness, with pens. He says, I feel that 2023 is the year of Psalm 23. That is my favorite psalm. Because it's not religious. It's not catches, it's just blessings. So I said, you know what? You're right. I got nothing to lose. I lost everything. Let me pray on that. So I finally came out of it because I prayed every morning. Now my routine changed. So now I pray every morning. I meditate on the word. I pray, but I pray, God, remember that you said that anything that these feet touch belongs to you. You said it, so it's mine. I've been, in my quest for my identity, I ended up all the way into Dubai. I've been in France, I've been in Spain, I've been in Brazil. I kind of been all over the place, wandering around, trying to find out who I am. So I said, wow, God, your word says that whatever I touch will be mine. I said, God, whatever I have done, now it's mine. No, not mine. This big guy, that little BCB, that BCB. Your BCBs now. Sorry, now you're stuck with me. You know? So that was that breakthrough that I had to come and tell you that, you know what? The power is in knowledge, in confidence, trust in Him. The book of God says that He said, my people are perishing for lack of knowledge. He never said lack of faith. He said lack of knowledge. You know, so it's just amazing. And so this fear has gone so whacked out of my life that I only fear two things. Two things I fear now. Number one, the greatest is what the Bible taught. They say all the time, the fear of the Lord. And I did not understand that. Finally, I understood it. I'm too hyper, so I already lost my notes, and I had asked Maddie to remind me about that, but I don't even know where my phone is, because sometimes I'm lost in the moment. But I finally understood that the fear of the Lord is when Jesus Christ said, forgive me. Oh no, I'm sorry. Father, why have you forsaken me? That's the fear of the Lord. That is my biggest fear. To say, if you're not with me, that's my fear. If you ever leave me, that is when I'm the most vulnerable to the enemy. So that alone right there is like, you know what? I don't fear men anymore. I don't fear anything. I don't fear anything because that's just the world. When you're in God and He promises you that, that's it. I feel one more thing. Since I've been praying on 23 so much, on Psalm 23 so much, and I've been acting on it, I'm not just praying on it, I'm acting on it. So, my second fear, which is kind of light, but you know, it's light. So, Psalm 23 says, you have anointed my head with your oil. So, what I do every morning after I pray, sometimes an hour and a half, sometimes 2 hours, I just cannot get up anymore. I'm just talking to God all the time. And to get the anointing to hear Him, I grabbed my olive oil. That, thank God, when I was broke, one of my nieces gave me like 3 or 4 bottles of virgin olive oil. So I grabbed my olive oil and I put it on. Because you anointed me. I'm taking that on. I'm taking authority because you said it. Not the priest, not the preacher. No. The book says you have anointed my head with oil. Amen. So sometimes I'm so oily that I see the microwave and I'm like, you know, because I'm afraid I'm going to pop like a popcorn. Because I'm so anointed. You know what I mean? So my fear has changed. My fear has changed from fearing everything to now I fear the microwave because I'm anointed. And I have so much oil in my head, I'm like, you know? So, you know what the great thing about freedom is? You know what the great thing about freedom is that we ended up in Cuba last February. So, in Mexico, I felt like we are not growing, I'm dying here. All of a sudden, your mind changes. You pray God's word over your life. You pray everything to you as He says it. Mm-hmm. You are what He said you are. Right. Mm-hmm. You are not what everybody else says that you are. Yes. And you know what? How funny? I think God is funny. God has a really great sense of humor. Mm-hmm. You know, He says. So I told you I had this hung up. I was called a monkey my whole life. Ugly monkey. So I believe I was a monkey. Finally, you know, I'm going through life. I'm like, well, I guess I'm a monkey, but I was wrong because girls like cute monkeys. I'm a cute monkey! Yes! 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 And you know what? We come back to faith. So, faith says that God created us. But do you guys know a guy called Darwin? Okay, Darwin, he says, the theory of evolution. We come from monkeys. So, my whole life I'm trying to run away from being called a monkey, and Darwin tells me that I'm a monkey, that I am a descendant of a monkey. You know, so he said, you know what? I don't know about you, if you believe God or you believe Darwin. I will testify this. I am a monkey, but I don't come from monkeys.
There you go.
You know? The truth will set you free. And that is the thing that I wanted to come and tell you that, you know, now we're in Cuba. We'll be going to Colombia in 2 weeks. We have 100 kids in one area. All of a sudden, another church contacted her. Could you come and pray and work with us? You know, I feel God is finally, once He set me free, no stop. No stop. This is how amazing life is. I was invited to a gathering 2 weeks ago. This lady, friend of a friend, I have friends on Facebook that I don't know, but somehow they follow me, you know. So we finally connected. This lady sat me on she invited me. She goes, I want to bless those children. So could you come? I said sure. But she goes, but when you come, will you stay with us for dinner for just a little while? So I said fine. Of course, I want to meet you. You know what I mean? So they sat me down. We talked for about 6 hours. I had to leave, but I didn't want to leave. They did not want me to leave. You know, it became love at first sight. These people are attorneys, well done, well everything, and I'm just a fisherman. She says, I was praying to the Spirit that whatever I cooked would please you. Who am I? I'm just a fisherman. But I'm just a fisherman doing God's work.
Yes, that's it.
So the Bible talks about having favor.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And it's because we have God in us.
Amen.
You know, the word says that we are the temple of God. We are the dwelling, resting place of God.
Amen.
You know, the Old Testament talks about law. You know, Jesus Christ died one time so we could all be forgiven, so we could all have His power. You know, I love this because while I was taking my mom to the hospital with cancer and everything, I saw the suffering. And I'm like, I hate being a mediocre Christian. Because I'm walking through the hospital. People are dying. And I'm afraid to pray healing. Because I know that I'm not equipped. But that was before I was born again. I was just born 3 months ago. Finally delivered. So now Astra says to me, Jay, we're going to do this. They ask us to pray. We're going to do it. Yes. We're going to deliver slaves. We're going to deliver spirits of what I went through. Because
Yes.
now, again, I am a builder, a church builder, a people's builder.
Yes.
Not because of me. Because when Jesus Christ, before He left, He said, and I'm going, and you will do the things that I have done, and even greater things.
Yes.
Amen.
Yes.
The thing is believing it, grabbing it, and saying, God, remember that you said that? Remember that you said that? I am nothing. I am nothing. But if you tell me to do it, I'm just going to be the vessel. You know what? There's another little section of the word that says that God used a donkey to
Yes.
speak. God, if you use a donkey, hello?
Yeah, that's right.
What about this monkey? You know what I mean? Like, God is so amazing. God is so amazing. But it's amazing once you realize great. You know what I love about God? I told you that I fear everything. I could get everything, but I could not hold it. I was afraid of love. I was afraid of not being enough. I was afraid if my ex knew how much I loved her, I could ask her, do you want me to kill myself? I'll kill myself. That's how much I love you. But that's why I never let her know. Because I fear that if she knew how much I loved her, she'll run me like a little puppy. You know, like a little puppy. After all the mistakes that I have made, after everything I have done, I said, you know what? The world says love hurts. But what hurts more is not to love.
Yeah, that's right.
And when they asked Jesus Christ, what is the number one thing? Love you God above everything, right?
Yes.
When you love God above everything, and you look at yourself in the mirror, and you're like, well, I want it to be this, that. But I'm okay because you created me. You were singing that since when we were in our mom's belly, He had a purpose for us. He has known us our whole lives. He has loved us our whole lives. Next, second, Jesus Christ said, and love your neighbor as you love yourself. How can you love your neighbor if you don't love yourself? How can we accomplish that? But yet, if we believe what we hear, if we take ownership of that, and we love our neighbor as we love yourself, like this God is just, I testify to that. I want to say this because of that. My mom told me, let's take care of those children. She had to decrease so I could increase. When she told me, I'm going to give you my life, literally, she did. But not to me. She actually did to free me. To free me. I could have spent my whole life being successful, but empty. I would have gone to hell. Instead, right now we have about 400 to 500 kids. After this trip, it's going to probably go to 600. We have no idea how we're going to support it, but God will.
Yes, amen.
God will. The properties right now, the ranch is called the ranch is called Dreams of Milk and Honey. Dreams of, and this is how God is. He put those things in me before I knew what they meant. I just named it because this is the dream of the promised land. The dream of the dream of the promised land will be supplying right now pretty soon a jungle hotel. So we are giving life, right?
Yeah.
Our ministry, when I thought I was gone, I was going to close it up. Now we're in 3 countries. 4 to 5 now. We're going to increase to maybe 6, 7. You know, those invitations will keep on coming.
Yes.
You know it.
Yes.
You know it. We wish we had the how or the time or the finances, but you know what? That will come.
Yes.
That will come. That will come. Again, we're living. If we say to ourselves, you know, it is 2023, the year of Psalm 23. The Lord is my shepherd; we shall not lack. That's it. He said it. He promised it. He promised it. He promised it. It's incredible. Again, He said that He will make us rest in green pasture, that He will lead us along tranquil waters. Right? He promised it. He said that He would, every morning He would give us the energy. He would give us the new hope,
Yes.
new everything.
Amen. Yes.
He promised it.
Yes.
And this is that year.
Amen.
This year won't happen until 100 years. So I think it's time for us to take ownership and say, yes, Psalm 23 every single day. We have what, 9 months left? I think we could conquer the world in 9 months.
Amen.
You know what I mean?
Amen.
At least we try. You know, and then 2024, let's call it the year of Psalm 2024. You know what I mean? So I wanted to tell you this because it is a new life.
Yes.
Because I finally believed.
Yes.
You know, I believe it's Elijah. There's a section when he was like, so he asked God, just take me. My enemy is going to come and kill me after he just wiped out all these false prophets. But yet he's in the cave asking me, just take me. But yet the angel came saying, no, get up, because you're gonna now crown the next king. So I love the idea that he says, I'm gonna take you from the cave, which I kind of live in a cave anyway, you know? So I took it personal that he says, I'm gonna take you from this cave to talk to royalty, to talk, to walk in anointing. And that's what we're doing. That's what we're doing. Again, the table where I was sitting, the other day somebody invited me, nobody invited me to Easter because I guess, you know, I don't know. I had no invitation from anybody. So, but I'm fine because sometimes in holidays I get emotional, so I'd rather stay home. But this client calls me, and this is a person that does the 6:30 PBS financial show, and he has another show on television. The wife is a producer for the Good Morning Show. So here's people of influence asking me, please, you have to come and sit with us. I'm like, I'm just a fisherman. So I feel it. I feel it. God is saying this is the time. But we have to have faith. We have to grab what He's promising and keep on going, keep on going, keep on going, keep on going, keep on going. So I want to wrap that up with this, but I wanted to just say one more thing. You know, faith, sanity. And the way that I would like to close is we have a little presentation. This is the reason why I kind of started a mission, because that little girl at 3 years old, that she had to work to help her family. And here I am with all this money in a blessed country. It's not possible. God will never bless this. He will bless this. You know, so I just wanted to show you a little clip. I wanted to have Tommy play a song that we've been playing in Mexico, but I would like to do this in an ambience of Genesis 12. So I will ask to shut the lights off, and I want to show you what God has done through believing.